Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Why does that sound like a Tana Mojo introduction? Anyways, I had recently taken a poll on my Instagram and asked you guys if you would rather see something makeup related or a story time, and the majority voted for a story time. The most prominent thing in my life that I thought of to share with you my personal journey and struggles and everything that I've had over the years with anxiety and panic disorder. So, before I get into that, I just wanted to apologize for all of this lovely clutter in the background you see. That and you might hear the Trolls movie playing in the background for my son. Hashtag mom life. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So I started to have what they classify as anxiety disorder or panic disorder when I was in 5th grade. And of course at the time I had never even heard that term. Nothing. It came on so randomly, so sudden. I will never forget the first panic attack that I had ever had. I was in my 5th grade classroom. Thank God I had like the nicest teacher ever, and my mom was actually a teacher's aide like just down the hall, so you know, once again, that was a lifesaver. In this moment, all I could feel was that I'm dying. Like, I couldn't explain it. I was just like, something's wrong. I'm dying. Like, I'm going to die. Like, just this overwhelming feeling of something not being right. So I went up to my teacher and I just told her that I was terrified and I thought something was really wrong with me and I didn't know what to do. And obviously, you know, being only in 5th grade, you know, that's even more scary. And she was like, you know, yeah, you can like go to the nurse or go down to your mom's room or whatever you need to do. She was very, very sweet. I'm very thankful for that and thankful for her. So, of course, I went right to my mom and I just started crying, and I just remember going like this, like shaking my hands and like, I can't feel anything, like I don't know what's wrong with me, I'm gonna die, like I'm gonna pass out, I don't know what's wrong. My mom obviously is like, oh my gosh, you know, let's take you down to the nurse, this and that, blah blah blah. Check me out, everything's, you know, okay. I mean, like, my heart was racing at this point, you know, things like that. But the nurse had suggested to my mom that maybe we go see a specialist about this. And so then we ended up going to see a psychiatrist. And since I was so young, my mom did come in with me, and she kind of explained how I was acting, and I was explaining to the best of my ability of what I was feeling and things like that. And the doctor was very nice, and this was the first time I had ever heard the term anxiety or panic attacks. And he explained, you know, that it's fairly common. Everyone that does experiences it a little bit differently, and there's different severities and these things. So he tried to figure out if I had triggers, if there was anything specific that would bring on these anxiety attacks, you know. So he kind of gave us a little homework to see maybe if I could change up, you know, some type of routine or something like that. So I remember the one day I was sitting there watching TV. My mom was in the kitchen, which was right behind our living room, and she was making dinner or something like that, and I was literally watching TV, like into the TV show. Nothing had been bothering me. So then I just started feeling like that again, and I got really hot, and I just started freaking out, and my mom, you know, explained to me what the doctor had said to me, you know, like, it's in your head, you're gonna be okay, you know, like, just giving me these, like, affirmations to try to get me to calm down, you know, breathing techniques, anything that she could do to try and help. So we came to the conclusion that I didn't exactly have a trigger. My only trigger, to this day still, would be thinking about, oh my God, am I gonna have an anxiety attack? like being put in a position where it would be not that it's ever convenient to have an anxiety attack, but when I would be in positions where it's super inconvenient to have one, I would think, oh my God, I hope I don't have one, and then just dwell and manifest this anxiety attack, and then just throw myself into it, essentially, to the point where I couldn't reel it back in. So I guess that would be my personal only trigger. Once we figured that out, he decided it would be good to prescribe me to a medication called Zoloft. And he did recommend that I see a therapist as well. So I was on that for like 2 years or so, and not like bashing therapy or saying that it can't help certain people or anything like that, because I'm sure it can, but I mean, me personally and the therapist that was given to me was not helpful. She would just tell me to put myself in a happy place. And I understand that it's hard for people who don't struggle with this to understand you, but even though it is in your head, it doesn't matter. And even though you know it's in your head, it is so real to you. It does not matter. It doesn't matter that you know it's in your head. It's actual feelings that course through your body. Like, you know, your body actually feels like it's going to pass out or throw up, or, you know, whatever the case is with you personally. You know, my palms will always get super, super clammy, and my whole body will get so hot. Like, you have actual things that happen to you. It's a lot harder than just putting yourself in a safe place. Maybe that works for some people, but it just definitely didn't work for me, and I told my mom that I did not want to go see this therapist anymore because it just was not bettering me, was not helping me in any way. If anything, I was just getting frustrated with it. So then the medication was working pretty successfully for, like I said, about 2 or 2.5 years maybe. So of course, you know, the common misconception when you're on medication is, oh, I feel better. Maybe I should get off, you know, because I'm better now. But that wasn't the greatest idea in hindsight. I mean, I guess it is okay because, you know, it's made me the person I am today and taken me on this journey and everything. So we talked to my psychiatrist, and he thought it was okay, so we had to wean off of that. And I was okay for a while, I think. And then I want to say after that one, I've been on so many medications, it's hard to keep track of time frames of when I was put on what. But after that, at some point, I just got right back into it, you know, having these panic attacks and this and that. And, you know, not having it for a while and then having it happen again out of nowhere, it's like you forget how terrifying it really is. So after that, I was put on, I want to say the one after that was Lexapro, which also helped me for a while. I started to feel like I was still having these panic attacks after a while of getting used to the Lexapro, and my doctor at the time just wanted to keep upping the dose. I wasn't really enjoying that idea. So, you know, my mom ordered this thing online, like this self-help thing. This thing had like books, CDs, like vitamins that you can take to help make you more positive, make you feel better. Anxiety and panic attacks is something that affects not only you, but your loved ones, the people around you. I know it put a lot of stress on my parents because they didn't know how to help me. I know that I lost friends throughout because when you're a younger kid, who wants to be friends with the kid who's freaking out having a panic attack, you know? It was even harder when I got into high school because then you get the people that say, oh, she's faking it. She just wants attention, which is probably the biggest insult ever, because if you know what it's like, you would not wish that upon your worst enemy. Honestly. You honestly would not. It is absolutely terrifying. It's terrifying. So I had to deal with that, which was not fun, but I learn to, you know, not even give them the time of day, not even entertain their accusations of me faking it. I mean, who wants that kind of attention anyways, is my thing that I don't understand. Nobody wants to be looked at as the freak or the weird girl that has anxiety issues. It's not fun. So I got over that and just started to just not even pay attention to people like that and just focus more on myself. I decided that I needed to get on something a little stronger, talk to a different psychiatrist, things like that. And talking to a different psychiatrist, he decided that I did have a little bit more of a severe case. So then at that point I was put on Paxil and Ativan. And the Paxil you take every day, which is like the other two medications that I had been put on, where it takes like a week or 2 weeks, something like that, to get into your system, and it's supposed to keep you on like an even keel, like to keep you calm. But then the Ativan is something that, say, I feel like I'm going into a panic attack, I take it and it will calm me down in that moment. It will help me, you know. So that was ordered PRN as needed. And I felt that I really wasn't even taking the Ativan that much. I think a lot of it was just having that security blanket, having it with me, knowing that if something does happen, if I were for some reason to go into a panic attack, I have something to save me from that, essentially, you know. I wasn't the most responsible person back then, and, you know, I would not take my medication for a couple of days and then be like, oh, I forgot, and then next thing I know, I'm having a panic attack. And I remember a few times where I ran out of my Ativan and I went into a full-blown panic attack, and I actually have gone to the ER for my panic attacks, like freaking out. It's like a constant repetition. Am I gonna be okay? How long is this gonna last? Am I gonna be okay? When is this gonna kick in? Am I gonna be okay? Like, it must be very frustrating for the people around you, but that's why you need to surround yourself with people who are patient and compassionate and can at least try to understand that you're going through something awful. So if you go through this, you know, the people you surround yourself with is a big thing, because you need people that are going to understand and try to help you. And even if they don't understand, because a lot of times they won't ever understand if they don't experience it themselves. It's hard, you know? How could they understand that? You need to have someone that's willing to try, though, is my thing. And not get angry with you or blow you off as if this is just something you're doing for attention, because things like that make it worse. Like, as obvious as that is, a lot of people still act that way towards people that have anxiety attacks, you know? So, after that, that worked for me for a while. And then I wanted to be on something less strong. So then I got taken off the Paxil, and my doctor had prescribed me, oh my goodness, what's it called? Effexor, which is more targeted towards solely anxiety than it is depression and anxiety, because I don't suffer from depression. So I guess that's kind of, you know. But so that, and then clonazepam, which is essentially the same type of thing as Ativan, just maybe not as strong or as harsh. But this is something that I'm going to probably have to deal with for the rest of my life. Some people have told me that, you know, they've grown out of it, or they've heard of people who've grown out of it. But then I've had doctors tell me that it's an imbalance of chemicals in your brain, of serotonin and whatever, this and that, so that you can't really help it, and you need these medications to just keep you calm, keep you at an even keel, because without these, I'm going a mile a minute, and it's scary. It's just truly awful. It's a truly awful feeling. by no means do I want anybody's sympathy in or any type of things like that. I just want to let people know that, you know, if you do have these problems, you're not alone. There's always people you can talk to. There's always someone who's going through what you're going through, and maybe they're going through it even worse. But everyone's different. Everyone who has panic attacks or anxiety experiences it differently, you know? For me personally, I always felt the best way to explain it is that I felt like everything around me was surreal. Not in a cool way, not in a fun way, but that's why I would want to I would keep going like this with my hands, or like shaking my hands, and you know, I would keep saying stuff like, I feel like my body's going numb, I feel like I'm going to pass out, getting very hot, you know, just crazy, crazy things. And, you know, there's been so many times where I'll be sitting in my own apartment, in my own living room, like, comfortable with, you know, maybe only one other person who I'm comfortable with or whatever, and I'm thrown into an anxiety attack, and I feel trapped. For some reason, my body is telling me, like, get out. You feel trapped right now, and I need to go outside, get fresh air, go on a walk. Like, it's just odd the way that it works. And I do feel like I've gotten to the point where I can reel it back. I can control it a lot better than what it used to be. But that's not to say that it is easy or it is something that anybody would want to have at all. I know there's worse things in this world, obviously, and I'm not saying like, oh, poor me, anything like that, but that's my story time, and kind of just touching the surface a little bit. My personal experience with anxiety and panic disorders and all of that. Personally, I think that some of the people that have anxiety are some of the strongest people that I've ever met, because, you know, you're still going through day to day dealing with this. So good for you. You know, if you do have it, good for you. Don't beat yourself up about it. No one would choose to be like this. No one would choose to have this. So it's my story time. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. Comment below different ways that maybe you have dealt with it, or, you know, just any questions you have. I'm always open to answer anything, really. Throwing love out there to anybody who goes through this, and anybody, any family members or friends or loved ones. Kudos to all of you, because it's not a fun thing. So hopefully this video was entertaining. I don't know that it was entertaining. I don't even really know if it was educational, but it was a story time. Which is what you guys wanted, so you know. Alright, Dustin and I will be getting back to you guys with the shoe review video, which, keep in mind, I know pretty much nothing about shoes compared to him. But that's okay. I'm still gonna give my opinion, because, like, why not? I would really love it if you like, comment, share, subscribe, anything. I'm always open to new ideas for videos. Just let me know. Alright, bye guys. Thanks for watching.